Bismillah. Peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. You know who this is. Your brother Talib from the Brother Talib Show. I got something for you, unfortunately, to talk about. And get into it. If you're ready, let's get it. Alrighty then. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ajma'een. Oh Allah, protect us from the likes of evil of ourselves and the evil of the shaitan. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Protect us from the evil of the shayateen that are out, they're partaking into continuously misguiding the Muslims, not let alone the non-Muslims, but us that we should know better. We should know better. Of course, there are signs that are clear to what's coming and the end of the days and the end of the times to the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day that Allah will have his judgment upon all mankind and the jinns. But we will meet our Lord. Know that, and the time is coming. So the times are showing this, and the actions of the people are showing this with the Muslims, not just with the people who are not Muslim that have not submitted to Allah alone and worshipped him alone and followed his messenger and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the guidance of the Quran. The Muslims are falling off of that, and we know this. But does this take us, and we have to question it, people. Does this take us out of the fold of Islam? Does this fall into shirk? We cannot just jump the gun and take people out of the fold of Islam like the Khawarij is known for doing, Khawarij people that do that today from these groups. We cannot just say and jump the gun and say what we want to say and make fatwa. Because you're not a scholar. I'm not a scholar. I know I'm not. I can speak for myself. Many of us Muslims, majority of the Muslims in the Muslim world are not scholars. There are a percentage of good amount of scholars. And some people who portray to be scholars, or some people who say that this person's sheikh and this and like this. But to come out and make statements against people like, for instance, Andrew Tate. This guy, mashallah, alhamdulillah, he accepted Islam. He's new to Islam, so we got to give him that. He's done a lot of evil. Spoke a lot of evil. He wasn't Muslim. When you come to Islam and you accept Islam, sins are forgiven. We know this. I'm getting into simple. I'm going to do it as quick as possible. I'm not going to go into all the outward precepts and concepts and understanding and factors of what Islam says in these things that the people are doing. But let alone when we see what happened and what I'm saying with Andrew Tate, real quick to go back to him, is that the people, Muslims, made some off-the-wall statements. Muslims that's supposed to be practicing Muslims, or they're covered, right, like the women that have made statements that have been known, and not just them, but men too, but people who have a problem with the fact that he accepted Islam. How could you have a problem? That's like you have a problem with your Lord. What, because he's in the social media? There's a plenty of Muslims in social media. Who can you say is faking or not? You can't say that. Especially if you're not there with them. This is social media. Let's get it right. You don't know what's true from falsehood in social media. That's the problem with people who get too enthralled into social media. And they don't know how to use it for the benefit, and to learn more their deen. Spend time going into the sites and learning your deen more than you coming and trying to speak about a person because you see that now they're Muslim. Well, now you see Muslims doing haram things like I'm going to get into. And my main point of this video is based on the Saudi stuff that is taking place. Yes, the evil that is taking place. Yes, the shaitanic acts that are taking place there. But these are still Muslim. We can't take them out of the fold. We know that Muslims are weak. And we know that Muslims are wayward. We know that Muslims are still sinful. We know that. Look at yourself in the mirror. Check yourself. How perfect are you? What are you doing? Are you all perfect? Because the Prophet ﷺ made tawbah, and he made istighfar. He asked forgiveness for 70 times a day. If I'm correct, if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. Put it in the comment place. From what I remember. The Prophet put it this way. I'll paraphrase it. The Prophet ﷺ made tawbah and asked for istighfar. He asked for forgiveness several times a day. Put it that way, if I'm not totally correct. But I think it's 70. He was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam of Islam. So who are we to come out and make statements against the people without clarity and knowing who's doing what and where they at? Now we understand when you see what you see, you're being exposed. So people are exposing themselves. People are being, you got Muslims dancing around with LGBTQ community. That's been happening. Muslim countries raising the flag of that. And we know Islam speaks against it. So why are you surprised? We're in these times. We're getting close to these things. Not to say and make an excuse. I'm not making no excuses for the sins of these people. No, this is haram. We know this. I know Muslims myself in my community that do haram or have done haram. Myself, I know my shortcomings, and I fight my shortcomings every day. I'm not exempt from sin. My heart wasn't carved out and purified by Zamzam water like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then know that morsel was taken and removed from me. And none of you, and you know that as Muslims. So check yourself before you wreck yourself with your Lord, because judging and misjudging and going beyond the boundaries and transgressing the bounds, coveting your brother, talking about your brother and your sisters, and you're passing that position and those boundaries that you can do that. Talking about you're going to leave your faith. The sister said this. Even they was on the shows of the Deen show. They was on the talk show with those three Muslim brothers, the well-known young brothers, mashallah, and they do a lot of great subject matter on their shows. Shout outs to them in the Deen show, brother Eddie, and others brothers and sisters who have been speaking about Andrew Tate's issue. But with Saudi, let's get to it. Okay, let me just show you what's going on. So if you don't already know, but I'm exposing it because I want you to see the ignorance and the foolishness of the Muslims who are trying to be a part of the rest of the world, compromising their faith. This has been going on. Like I said, there are Muslims dancing that are in political positions, that got into political office, dancing out there in the LGBTQ parades and stuff like that. Functions. And so one thing that you say, okay, everybody has their rights. They uphold their rights in the land of the law, the laws of the land. Everybody has the rights to their life and living and what they choose, whether it's sex, gender, whatever, boom, boom, bang, right? And religious too, right? Yeah. Okay. But what about polygamy? No, I'm not going to even talk about that. Yeah, there's a law against that, but there's no law against the other stuff. But it's okay. We know, and we're not going to go there. Right. But anyway, hypocrisy is a disease. Know that. Mental disease is part of people, and they're caught up in it, especially in this country and other countries as such. And what you're going to see there is also a form of hypocrisy too. But we don't know who's the hypocrite. We don't know who's the fasikun. But this is a form of it, because when you're behind the closed doors, you're hiding yourself. But now you can bring yourself out and expose it, because you got somebody in a position that will allow you to do this in your Muslim country. So we got to see what it is. Okay, well, let's show you what is going on. All right, ready?
Drinking warm water before bed fixes tooth and gum problems overnight.
Skip that.
To the fall season. The Celtic people of the north used to believe that during the fall season their year began.
Hold on for a second.
And actually,
this was not the one. Hold on, people.
For the Celtic.
Okay. What I'm going to just do, I'm just going to try to speak about what happened, because unfortunately, unfortunately things happen in this, when you're doing this YouTube stuff. And when I picked what I picked as far as what I wanted to post or show, it chose something else. But this is speaking about Halloween. And it's from older elder brother from Islam that we know, well-known speaker and da'i, Hakeem Quick. So if you see it, this is Dark Secrets of Halloween, you must know. So you can look at it and go on your own and search it up and watch that video. It's very good too. But basically, what happened in Saudi, and you can see it yourself, there's plenty of videos that speak on it, because I'm not going to go and search for it and take up everybody's time. They were wearing costumes. Okay, they were partaking in the rejoicing of the Halloween festivities that go on throughout, especially Western countries, non-Muslim countries. But Muslim countries now are partaking into it, and especially the weaker ones, of course. And Saudi has shown proof because of the rulership. May Allah guide them and set their affairs straight. This is what we're supposed to do. Make dua for the Muslims that are falling, okay, and the weak Muslims. And the rulerships, they're not exempt from being weak, because they're the Saudi rulers or the kings and the crown prince. That doesn't make them infallible. The Prophet ﷺ was infallible after that morsel was removed. He was the only one. Even the companions weren't infallible. But the best of the people are gone. We're living in the times of the worst of the people, of the Muslims. Of the Muslims, when I say people, I'm talking about the Muslimun. And there's different levels of Iman. You have to learn that. We have to learn about Iman, faith. There's different levels. And everybody does according to that level of faith. You're going to have the wayward ones and the more weaker Muslims. They compromise their faith. They do haram more. They almost like a non-Muslim, and sometimes do worse. I know from people from that in my community that unfortunately, the Muslim youth is more known for doing the haram stuff. But even some brothers that are elder like me in their 50s people got surprised and couldn't believe that there's things that they've done. So these actions show proof of the low Iman, the weak Iman, the lack of high-level Iman. But when you stay close to your deen and hold on it to your molar teeth, which is the strongest teeth, and you hold on it to those hot coals in these times, this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is the hadith. These are the hadiths that are clear. Our deen is clear for us for guidance. That we don't have to worry about Halloween or weens of hollow or whatever you want to call them. These hollow, evil, shaitanic spirits that fly around in those times. When those pagans was doing it, it started that stuff up. Trying to make demons and ghouls and goblins to be the only thing to protect them. Not Allah, but those things to protect them. Because that's how pagans do. That's what people who don't believe in God, they believe in other beliefs and all these different made up stuff. And they make it up themselves usually. Not what Allah sent with his revelation to the Prophet, and the Prophet gave it to us. And I'm not just talking with Muhammad. It's done with Musa. It was done with Moses. It was done with Abraham. It was done with Isa, with Jesus. It was done with Jesus' uncle. His uncle Zachariah and his cousin Yahya, John the Baptist, as they call him, John the Baptist in biblical terms. It was done with so many other prophets. He sent revelations to the people and messengers, and to give them guidance to come to him and utilize what he gives us as guidance and how we're supposed to live life. Not life would we make it, like that song, Crazy. Life is what you make it. No, life is how you live it. It depends on how you live it that it's going to go good for you. And sometimes, still, there's going to be struggle in it. But if you have a true good guidance, you don't have to worry about depression. You don't have to worry about going down the drain, losing yourself into drugs and all this other type of stuff, and then being jammed up and wanting to even kill yourself. Because you might have everything as a celebrity. You might have all the dunya, like these people were partying out there. They enjoying in the dunya because they see all the rest of the world is doing it. The West is the illumination of Illuminati. Oh no, let me stop. But they illuminate the world with their shaitanic ways. They're misguiding the world. They've been doing that. Secularism, so-called democracy, the West. is the best. Everybody flocking to the West, flocking to what these people are doing, and now countries themselves open up their lives to accepting some of these things because they're being forced or being pressured by influences throughout the world. And the Muslims are falling to it. But if you have strength in your iman and your belief is strong, then you will hold on to those coals and you will hold on to your deen with your molar teeth. That's it. So anyway, I said enough. I pray that Allah guides those people that have done this, and we don't know who it is. Some of them people might be known if some of their faces were revealed. They was in costumes, many of them. And so Allah knows best, and Allah is going to deal with them. May Allah guide them and give them forgiveness. If they make tawbah, they have to make tawbah, and they have to pray and ask Allah to guide them. And we should do the same for them. That's what we should do, and stop there. Because check yourself before you wreck yourself. Look at yourself in your mirror. Look at your own sins. This is what the Prophet spoke about. This is from the Quran and the Sunnah. People building each other up there as individuals, building your own deen with your Lord, establishing your own position with him, because you are going to meet him, and nobody else is going to matter to you when you meet him. I'm going to meet him. We're all going to meet him as individuals. So worry about yourself first, and whatever you can give to your brother and guide him with and teach them and show them, if you're close with a brother like that, or these people out there, these brothers and sisters out in the world in these parts of these Muslim lands, make dua for them, because you can't speak to them. You know that, unless you can connect to them some kind of way. We need to stand together and promote a lot of against what they did, but tell them that they need to make tawbah. Make videos like that, and don't denounce the land that the Quran and the Sunnah has been established. Don't denounce it. This is not permissible neither, because Allah has given a lot of words about the blessings there, and the Prophet himself. So don't denounce the land of Mamlakat Saudi Arabia, because that is the land of the Quran was revealed, and the Prophet's Sunnah and his life and guidance of Islam. That's where it began in. So catch yourself before you wreck yourself. Be careful what you say. Be careful how you think. Go to Allah. Ask Allah to guide the Muslims, because it's not just in Saudi, and we shouldn't put it all over the Saudis because it's supposed to be the main country. No. We're not protected, as it says. And speaking of the times, the end of the times is coming. The Dajjal will be able to enter all places and spaces of the earth, excluding what? Mecca and Medina. And they did this in Riyadh. They didn't do it in Mecca and Medina. So know that too. Know your sources first. Go and check and see where this was done in Saudi before you start running the mouths. Before we start running our mouths. I'm saying we too, because I got to be careful, and that's what I try my best to do. And may Allah forgive me if I'm incorrect, and anything I say is wrong. It's from me, and what is truth is from Allah, and always going to be the haqq. So brothers and sisters, peace and blessings, and keep up the lessons. Subhanakallah hamdihi ashhadu wa la ilaha anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. I'm out. Take care. And don't forget to click the like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to your brother, so you can stay with me with the many videos to come in future on these types of issues that you can get some benefit from. And share it out to others. I appreciate it. Thank you. Peace.